Hello and welcome. Sorry, I had a little technical difficulty, so I have to be at a different perspective, which is fine. So I'm getting set up here. So we're going to start our yin and restorative practice. Let me get my props. I'm having some blankets here. A bolster, some blocks, getting nice and comfy. Sorry about that. My name's Tina, by the way. Welcome. I am excited to do this yin and restorative practice today. I've had kind of a busy week and I started doing some lifting of weights, and so I'm needing a stretch. So let's get started, settled into our mats, or onto our mats. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. Oh. If you have any trouble, just mention it in the chat. Let's go ahead and just take a few moments here to get settled in. Gentle seated position. You can close your eyes or gently gaze down towards your cheeks. Starting to become aware of your breath and aware of your body and how you're feeling today. Bringing your attention to everything that's touching the mat, maybe your feet, your seat, legs. As always, during your practice, I'm a guide. Listen to your body. Move or hold in a way that feels comfortable for you. In the yin poses, you can go to your edge or just close to your edge, knowing that we'll be holding the poses for 1 or 2, maybe up to 3 minutes. So allowing yourself to be supported by your props, by your hands, whatever it is that can keep you from, that will allow you to go into the pose and feel safe. So we'll begin in our first pose here, coming into a butterfly pose with your feet. Bottoms of your feet are touching, your knees are out to the sides. And allow your knees to reach down toward the earth. If this is too intense, you can take the blocks or your blankets underneath your knees. I like to take the corners to go into where the creases are, if you need that. We're also going to incorporate a little bit of releasing of our neck here. So release your right ear toward your right shoulder. And then bring your chin down toward your chest. And then bring your left ear toward your left shoulder. And then again, bringing your chin towards your chest. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Continue that movement for 2 more times. Chin to chest, over to the side. Making these nice half circles, releasing your neck. Allowing your breath to go to those spots that might feel like they're needing a little release. Maybe you even notice that your hips have started to release a little bit. As you're ready, support your head, bring your head back up. 1 more minute in this pose. We're going to work on our shoulders. Bring your shoulders forward and then up into your ears, around the back and down, and then forward again, up, round, back, down, and forward. Nice big circles here. You can circle the other direction, bringing your shoulders down, bringing your shoulder blades together behind you, and then lifting your shoulders up and then forward. And then coming to stillness for this last 10 seconds. Reaching your hands back, bringing your hands to the sides of your thighs, bringing your knees up, and then bring your hands back. And sway your knees from side to side. And then come to a gentle seat and notice the changes that have started to occur in your body here. From here, reach your legs out in front of you. Maybe have your props handy. We're going to come into a forward fold caterpillar here. Other things that you can do to support yourself, maybe having a blanket under your knees. If you're feeling any tension as they're straightened, you can have a slight bend in them. And then as you're ready, fold forward. Your back can round here and find what you need to support yourself. Maybe your hands are on the ground. Maybe you have a bolster in front of you, and maybe even a block as well. And breathe. You can release the breaths out of your mouth to release any tension. You can hum. Kind of have a bumblebee breath, horse breath to help your body relax into the pose. release. We're over halfway there now. Always moving very gently and slowly to come out of yin poses. Start to press your hands into the ground or your bolster. Starting to bring your shoulders back up over your hips. Setting your props out to the side. Guiding your knees up. Hands come behind. And sway your knees from side to side. Sit up. You can have your legs outstretched or come to a gentle seat and notice and let that pose sink into your body. This next pose is a yogi squat. If you know that that is not in your practice or you feel like you want to come out of it if it's too intense, we will be holding it for 2 minutes. I can also offer the choice to bring in your heels in toward the center of your body, coming into more of a tight butterfly pose and folding forward and holding that. Or you can come into a yogi squat, coming up to standing. Sorry, you can't see me all the way. Your knees out to the corners of your mat. And then start to lower your seat down toward the earth. Knees and toes pointed the same direction. Your seat comes down toward the ground. And you may want to support yourself with a block or a blanket and bring your hands heart center and try to find a way to release into this pose. We'll be here for 2 minutes. How can you make this pose more comfortable? What areas of your joints can you release? Halfway there. From here, release your hands down toward the earth, moving slowly, supporting yourself, lifting your seat up, pointing your toes forward, and then start to gently come to standing. As you're standing, maybe bring your feet out a little further than hip distance and circle your hips around. All the way around in circles. And stop and circle the other direction. And then come to stillness. Notice how your body feels. So for this next pose, it's another somewhat intense pose, coming down onto your knees. You'll be curling your toes under, coming into a kind of a toe squat here. So you'll curl your toes under and bring your seat back towards your heels. And we'll be in this for 1 full minute. You may need to reach back to bring your pinky toe so that your toes are all on the ground, and then raise your hips up so that you are having the weight on your toes. Explore that unique feeling. We're just about halfway there. Gently shift yourself forward, bringing your hands down to the ground, your blocks. Uncurling your toes, placing the tops of your feet on the ground, and then bringing your hips back. Take a moment here in Thunderbolt. Feel what that feels like. And then coming into that front ankle stretch, leaning back, bringing your hands back behind you, either to your blocks or the ground behind you. Roll your shoulders back. Maybe you feel that stretch in the front of your ankles there. You can lift your hips up to feel it a little bit more. Exploring that movement. And then maybe lifting your knees a little bit. Get even more of a stretch in that front of your ankles. Holding that for up to 30 more seconds. As you're ready, shifting your knees back down, bringing your hands forward, coming into a closed-legged child's pose just for a few breaths. You can reach your arms back for embryo. Then from here, bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Curl your toes under, your hands are down on the ground, and lift yourself up into a downward facing dog to counteract that. Last pose, your heels reaching down toward the earth, maybe walking your dog here. Coming to stillness for a few breaths. And then lowering yourself back down to your tabletop and making your way onto your back. Lying onto your back, finding your version of happy baby, reaching your legs up toward the sky. Your knees are open to the outsides of your mat. You can reach behind your thighs or shins, guiding your knees towards your armpits. You can reach up for your feet or toes. And we're going to hold this for 3 whole minutes. Allow yourself to rest. Feeling the opening that's created in this pose. Halfway there. Twenty more seconds. Gently bring your knees together above your body. You can hug your knees in. Maybe roll your hips around, making circles both directions. Release your legs down to the ground and rock your knees from side to side. As you're ready, bring your knees over to one side and press yourself up. And place your bolster in the middle of your mat, the short end towards your hip. Bending your knees, so if you have your left hip on your bolster, your knees are pointed over toward the right. And then turn your chest toward the bolster, and you can lower your chest down. You can either have your head pointing the same direction as your knees, or turn to the other direction. Whatever feels best for your body. Your arms released to either side. It may be helpful. This is our first restorative pose, so we'll be holding this for 8 minutes. You can have a blanket in between your knees and ankles to balance yourself out. You can have another blanket up here. If you have somebody who can cover you, that would be very nice as well. Allow yourself to release down. Maybe even close your eyes and I'll watch. Maybe even close your eyes and I'll watch the time. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, let it go. Gently press your hands into the ground and bring yourself up, turning your back towards your bolster. And then bringing your opposite hip to the bolster. Maybe bringing your prop, your blanket in between your knees and then turning your chest toward the bolster. Lowering your chest down. Maybe turning your head away from your knees or toward your knees. And I'll watch the time. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, let it go. Very gently bring your hands underneath your shoulders and start to press yourself up. Turning toward your bolster. From here, you can bring your seat right up to your bolster. If you have props, we're going to come into a slight inversion. You can place one block at the second highest level and the one at the highest level to make a little bit of a ramp. You can also bring your seat up to your couch and bring your legs up. Just anything that will get your feet above your heart for a little bit. You can cover your legs to keep them warm and maybe keep them planted on your bolster. And you might want to have a blanket behind you for your head. Allow yourself to rest and relax. Close your eyes. If you have an eye pillow, maybe cover your eyes. And I'll watch the time. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Press each fingertip to your thumb, noticing an increased awareness of a quiet mind. Rotate your wrists and ankles, maybe wiggle your fingers and toes. Rock your head from side to side. And very gently start to bend your knees in towards your chest, being mindful of your props. You can hug your knees into your chest and make some circles or rock back and forth if that feels good. And then lower your knees over to one side, using your lower arm as a pillow for a last moment of quiet and stillness. To thank yourself for making it to your mat today, for allowing yourself to rest and recharge, and to remember that time at rest is never wasted. As you're ready, take your top hand and press it into the ground and lift yourself up. Coming to a gentle seated position, your hands heart center, to close out our practice. It was truly an honor to guide you through this yoga practice today. I hope you have a peaceful and powerful weekend. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you, everybody, for joining me this Yin and Restore practice. It's been a great time this morning to have so many of you joining me. I appreciate the donations you can make by hitting the blue button, or not the blue button, the red button, or the red heart to say that you were here. I plan to have another Yin and Restore next Friday, so keep an eye for that. Thank you so much, Deb. And I hope that you feel really rested and restored. And thank you. I'm not sure which donation this one was for. I know the last one was Chrissy. I'm not sure if this was for Jeffrey. If you were here last week, my husband was off of work, so I guided him through the practice, and it was actually his first Yin practice. And so I like to bring these practices to people who may not always practice. So that is one thing that the donations really help me do, both here and in my local community. I offer restorative classes. I have been able to add another restorative classes locally, and hopefully I'll be able to add more with your donations today. So thank you so much. I want to be respectful of your time. We're right at an hour. So have a good rest of your day or night wherever you are. Bye.